I don't know what I'm doing. Well, like all things, it all started with a great British bake-off.
It's special.
So, of course, watching all of this charming British baking made me want to do some British baking, and I thought, hey, I like fruitcake, like traditional Christmas cake. I wonder if anyone has figured out how to make that gluten-free. And so I started looking up recipes, and I found this one here. Go make it yourself. And I read through it, and I thought, what? That does not make any sense to me. And that is when I realized that I have never had a fruitcake. I was thinking of panettone, a delightful Italian bread that's kind of like a brioche with dried fruit in it, but a real traditional British fruitcake, yeah, I don't think I've ever had that. And then I started reading about it because apparently you age them. Some of you at home are like, duh. And to those of you, great. But if you, like me, are like, wait, say again, you make a cake old, hold on, there's more. You make this cake months or even years before Christmas. Some people say that a good Christmas cake should be aged for 2 years. I don't never had a cake more than maybe 3 or 4 days old, because after that, mold. But this cake won't grow mold because it's full of booze. So after being kind of horrified and fascinated, I decided, why the hell not? Let's make it. Let's try. It is currently September, which gives me about 4 months until Christmas. Not, is it 4 months or 3 months? October, November. Look, it's only about 3 months before Christmas, but I'm not going to wait till 2020. We don't even know what's going to happen. The world could be completely different. There may be no fruitcake left by 2020. We have to live in the now or in the 3 months future. So I am following this recipe, and we're going to make a fruitcake, and then we're going to check on it every week for a few months and keep pouring alcohol on it. Because that is a thing people have done for many generations of cake eaters. Join me on this journey. The first step is to chop and soak dried fruit in brandy. Now, this recipe is a British recipe, so it's in grams. You're supposed to put in 1.5 kilograms of dried fruit, which I converted, and it's over 3 pounds. It's over 3 pounds of dried fruit, which is a lot. So it's this much. It's like more than my head of dried fruit. Whew. I've already poured brandy on that. Woohoo! So this is a mixture of raisins, dried plums, apricots, dried cherries, and candied ginger. And then I poured brandy all over it. 150 milliliters of brandy to start. Fun fact, I have never bought brandy before, so I walked into a liquor store and said, "Do you have brandy?" And they did. But it was all behind the counter, so he said, "Which one do you want?" And I had no idea because I had done no research about how to buy brandy. And so I sort of stared for a while, and he helped another customer, and then he came back and said, "Is it for cooking?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "It doesn't matter." So, so I bought the one with a blue label because I like blue. Never actually had brandy before. I'm just going to taste the drops left at the bottom of this, and we'll see what we're doing. Ooh, wow, that's sweet. That is a sweet, that is sweet. But don't worry, the sweetness will be tamped down by all of the sugar fruit. Is fruitcake just all sweet? We'll find out in 3 months. Welcome to day 2 of Ashley Tries to Make a Gluten-Free Christmas Cake. I just read all the instructions for how to line the pan, and I am overwhelmed already. So it's going great. maybe some more experienced bakers are not thrown by the terms baking strips. I don't know this. This is good. It's good. So I've got these here instructions from this person. Even this person in her instructions is like, this isn't the traditional way of doing it, but it's all I have. And you know what? Neither is making it gluten-free. I'm already using the wrong shaped pan because I wasn't gonna buy a pan for this. So here we are, we're making it up. Everything is made up and pretend, except we are following some real instructions. I'm just probably gonna mess them up. Welcome to Nailed It on Netflix. So the first thing I'm supposed to do is make a lid for my pan. For some reason I don't understand, it says to make these nice folded edges. Honestly, unclear if this is aesthetic or necessary to function. I did it. I made the lid. Now set aside. Now I have to make this pan full of paper. It says to use baking or cooking spray to make that stay, but I don't own cooking spray because I have oil. So that's what I'm gonna do, is just spread some oil around. Okay. We've done one very simple thing. Congratulations to me. So, I wanted to skip this step, and then I thought, what if that's the step that I really should not have skipped? So, we're on an adventure here together. And if you're a more experienced baker at home, just like yelling at the screen about how I'm doing it wrong, thank you. Have a nice day. It's going great. What if instead of oil you used glue? Now, and this is from the blog, I'm going to use a binder clip. Hold this corner. Well, that sure doesn't seem helpful to me. Now, we make a wall around that in foil because foil is stronger. Now for some absolutely bonkers reason, I'm supposed to put wet paper towels between the folds of this foil. Feel free to explain the science of that to me in the comments below. I can't promise I'll read it. Depends how mean the other comments have been, but I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, I made a weird foil packet with a wet paper towel inside. Are you proud of me, Mom? Okay, so now we're gonna get to some actual baking. So I've already pre-measured some ingredients. We've got 500 grams of gluten-free flour. This is Pamela's blend, which is my favorite. I've had good results from it before. Fingers crossed. It already has xanthan gum in it, so I don't have to add that. And then it says to add the spices to that. So we've got some cinnamon and ginger. And this one is a mixture of cardamom and allspice and clove. Those are some spices. This project, which is clearly going to yield a giant cake, makes me think I need more mixing bowls because my big mixing bowl may not hold all of this. This is my medium mixing bowl. On the other hand, this has never been a problem before, and am I going to do this again? Probably not. I've added a little bit more spices than the recipe calls for because I don't think the British put enough spice in their things. Okay, this is 400 grams of brown sugar and 400 grams of butter at room temperature. I even used a kitchen scale because do I know how much a gram is normally? No. But I looked that up and it's a lot. It's more than a pound. So this is going to be a giant sugar bomb. Okay. It says place the butter, sugar in there, vanilla, and the golden syrup. I'm not using golden syrup because I'm in America. So I'm using honey as my substitute, which it's true does have its own flavor, but I like the flavor of honey. And let's be real, there's just gonna be a whole lot of brandy on this anyway. So that's a 1/4 cup of honey. It says to do all this in the mixing bowl of my standing mixer. I don't have a standing mixer, but I do have this, which is pretty handy. Ooh, this egg had 2 yolks. Well, that affects baking. Do I? I've never actually cracked open an egg before and had 2 yolks in it. Which would be great if I was just making a fried egg. But do I? God, these eggs are huge. Oh my god, that's a double yolk too? Okay, this is super freaky. These are organic eggs. They shouldn't be mutants. Okay. There's something going on here. Okay, so that was 3 eggs, but it's 6 yolks. But egg whites are a lot of what makes baked goods fluffy, and the only rising agent in this cake is eggs. So should I... I'm putting these mutant organic extra large free-range eggs away, and we'll see if these large organic free-range eggs from a different store. Yes, I happen to have a lot of eggs right now. Okay, just 1 yolk. Great. So, we need 3 more egg whites. See, I knew something. Could be wrong still, but okay. Well, so I have 6 egg whites and 6 egg yolks in here. They came from 6 different eggs. It's traditional, it's fine. Okay, it says to gradually add them into this with the mixer, which kind of terrifies me because I think I'm gonna end up with egg everywhere. That's part of the fun. This has taken so long to make so far, and it still has to bake for 4 hours. Well, significantly decrease the amount of dough here because so much of it is on my kitchen. Okay. Well, it says to put a layer at the bottom before you add the fruit. Now, if this cake weren't big enough, we're going to put basically an equivalent amount of fruit to dough here, to batter. This fruit has been soaking in brandy. It smells very brandy-y. It is called fruit cake, but this appears to be just enough cake to hold all your fruit. Could someone just magically make that appear in there because this is heavy. This has got to be, wait, I have a kitchen scale. Let's find out how heavy this is. I don't want grams. I want good old American pounds. This is over 8 pounds. No wonder people say fruitcake is heavy. They literally mean that it's heavy. Okay. This is why we work out. To make cakes. Bake cake for 4 to 4.5 hours. Here we go. Okay, so 5 hours later, gonna see if this is food. Checked it a bit ago and it wasn't yet. I mean, is that clean? It's mostly, it's pretty clean. Bake the cake for 4 to 4.5 hours. Well, until a skewer inserted into the middle of the cake comes out mostly clean. Mostly clean. We're there. To double check, once the skewer comes out, insert a thin bladed knife into the cake. I did that actually. And check that it comes out clean or with only a few crumbs attached. Okay, we're there. Leave to cool for 30 minutes. Then brush your spoon over some more brandy. Fold down the baking paper, then cover the whole cake pan with foil and leave overnight to cool. Great. Okay. So in 30 minutes, I'm gonna booze up this cake a little bit more and leave it overnight to cool. I did it. It did not rise at all, which makes this whole rigmarole unnecessary. But I don't know, maybe let's pretend it was vital because I spent a lot of time doing it. It's hot foil with paper towel is actually still damp. I don't know. Science did a thing. It's a cake. It smells really good. It does smell like Christmas, so. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and now I will spoon more brandy over this cake, which is still quite warm. And then cover it up and leave it overnight. I'll tell you what, this does smell good now. Now the cake did not rise at all, so let me take off this complicated apparatus I built for no reason. I did it. Okay, it is the morning. 'Tis the dawn. And that is the cake. So it says that we are turning it out now. I will say that right now, this feels extremely successful. We'll see how we feel in 3 months. So it's been a week. We're gonna figure out how to unwrap this. It smells amazing. I don't know if I don't know how to flip this over without. I don't know. This is all a terrible idea. Do I have to unwrap it, or do I just sort of check and see if it needs more brandy? Holy crap, this smells so good. Do I have to keep letting it get old? Okay, I'm just gonna pour some brandy on it. That is my understanding of what this process is. Because the alcohol is supposed to keep it from becoming poison? How on earth is this gonna be food in 3 months? Ah! I don't know. This sounds insane. This still sounds insane. I want to eat it now. But this is what we've done. Okay. Cheesecloth keeps the moisture on it. The foil keeps the devil out. And we pray. Okay, I'm going for it. I've pulled the cheesecloth off. I just flipped it over, and doing all the flipping has caused the cracks. So what I think I'm actually going to do, because this is all an experiment and I don't know what I'm doing, is that I'm going to put half of it in the fridge and half of it in the freezer. Also because the largest Tupperware that I have is nowhere near as big as the cake, which is why it has not been in Tupperware this whole time. So I'm going to put some of it in here and then wrap up the rest of it and put it in the freezer, because that is a lot of cake. Hand for scale. So much cake. So this is going flawlessly, very easy to cut, very easy to move, does not turn into pieces at all. Do you think it's going well? Yeah, she says it's going great. So, okay, this is gonna go in the freezer. I've labeled it Christmas cake for Christmas. Then that's gonna go in there. No problem, no problem. All about presentation. Look at my beautiful cake. Okay, well, it seems like I should just taste these bits that are coming off. Okay. This is amazing. I totally get it now. I totally get old cake. Oh my god. Okay, I doubted. Wow. Wow, I don't even know how to describe this. I mean, it's kind of like how a cheese ages, but it's sweet. all of the like kind of like burny alcoholness of the brandy has gone, and now it's just like it feels like it has this depth of flavor, and it's all the spices. And it's interesting because I remember thinking that based on how much fruit and how much just like flour was going into this, that the spice mixture was low, and I did bump it up a little, I think, but there's so much flavor in it. It's so rich with spice. Wow. Mm. Mm. I mean, I guess that's brandy, but it's so unlike just tasting the straight brandy. Wow. Um, so somebody stop me because I want to eat this whole thing now. Mm. Well, now it is November 24th, and it's time for the thrilling conclusion of Christmas cake, because I'm afraid I might finish eating this before Christmas. So, yeah, I've been eating it. I've been eating the cake. I love old cake. I love it so much. I mean, the incredible thing about this is that you keep it in the fridge for months, right? You make a cake, regular cake, a cake you have not soaked in alcohol, and you have to, eat it relatively quickly. But this cake, the cake that keeps on giving, and it's so rich that I never want more than about an inch piece of it. So it's just like, I just keep carving away pieces. But when I first packed this into the fridge, it was 2 layers, and I've now eaten the top layer and also some of this layer. And I'm not sorry. Uh, it's almost like a brandy raisin fudge. I mean, it's not quite like fudge, but it's in that it's so dense and rich that you wouldn't want more than like an inch of it. And then last night, I discovered a really fantastic trick. So, I just take a messy honka of old cake because it is visually a disaster. So that's about as much old cake as I ever want to eat. Official name, old cake. And then this is my favorite non-dairy ice cream. It's Coconut Bliss, their vanilla flavor. Not sponsored, but I'm open to it. But, any vanilla ice cream-ish type thing that you like. Just gonna add a scoop of that. And then, I forgot a spoon. Luckily, I'm in my kitchen. I'm back. So, little vanilla ice cream, little crumbly, messy, cinnamon brandy mixed dried fruit madness. The flavors meld in a way that it's almost like it's brandy raisin ice cream, like a rum raisin ice cream, but more Christmassy. Maybe those flavors sound terrible to you. I don't know that describing it, I would have been like, I want that. I want this. Mm. Mm. So I'm sold. I've been converted. I might do this every year. Can't say. At first, I thought, God, if I ever do this again, I will make like a third of the recipe. But now I don't know. It keeps. It keeps. I've got another hunk this big in the freezer. I could still be eating this cake in March. I'm just kidding. I'll probably finish it by Christmas. So that's the thrilling conclusion to the old cake saga, or Christmas cake, which gets 2 thumbs up from me. I'm good at this. Happy holidays! Leave me alone with my cake.